Hey everyone, welcome to the Blogging Your Passion show. Now today, if there is a secret sauce, if there is a hidden secret, if there is something that I could pull out of the toolbox to share with you on how to build an online business, how to work for yourself, how to accomplish the goals that you set out for yourself, it is what today's show is all about. It's about 90-day goals. Now, I came across this concept of setting 90-day goals about, I would say, 4 years ago, maybe 5 years ago. And it was a game changer for me. Now, don't get me wrong. I certainly am all about setting yearly goals. I've done that for a long time, ever since I graduated from college and started having to try to set career goals and life goals and family goals and money goals and all that. But what I quickly realized is setting yearly goals in and of itself was not enough. It's great. It's a great step to take, but there's a lot that can happen along the way. I mean, how many of us set yearly goals only get to the end of the year and accomplish very little? It happens. It happens. It happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you. The revolutionary piece that put everything together for me was understanding the power of 90-day goals. You see, with 90-day goals, it doesn't allow you to do too much drifting, right? So what often happens with us when we set the yearly goal, if I say in January, I want to write a book by December, then what'll happen? I'll procrastinate for 6 months. And then, okay, it's halfway through the year. I need to get serious about this. And then maybe I make a little bit of progress, but I don't reach my goal. But with 90-day goals, that can't happen because you don't allow yourself to drift too far or to give yourself a pass. It creates some built-in urgency that makes you move toward action because you only have 90 days. The other thing that it does is it allows me to take advantage of opportunities when opportunities come about. How many of us set goals in January and then by the halfway mark of the year, everything's changed? Most of our goals are blown out of the water because we could not predict the future opportunities, loss of a job, moving to a new state or a new city. I mean, there's so much that can happen in 12 months, and 90-day goals allows you to take advantage of those opportunities. So every 90 days when I sit down to establish my next 90-day goals, I am able to include not only some of the bigger goals that I want to get done originally, but I'm also able to include new opportunities that have come in my path. So before we dive in, today I'm going to actually share with you a worksheet and walk you through this worksheet. And by the way, if you want to get a copy of this 3-page worksheet, it even has place for you to write in your goals, and I break it down, got a chart in there that can kind of help you. It's a worksheet. Then what I want you to do is just text all in one word, goal worksheet. You have to put it in one word, goal worksheet, to 44222. And again, it's the word goal, not with an S on the end. It's the word goal worksheet to 44222. I'll send you this 3-page worksheet that explains everything that we're going to talk about today. So grab that worksheet and let's get started. Let's walk through this together. Now, first things first. One of the main reasons, actually I would say 2 of the biggest reasons why we don't accomplish the goals that we set out for ourselves come down to a lack of clarity and broken focus. Lack of clarity and broken focus. First of all, it's lack of clarity because we don't know where we're headed. We get so lost in our day-to-day tasks that we don't get our head up long enough to see, what am I ultimately trying to build, especially in my business? Or when it comes to my health or my relationships, what am I ultimately trying to accomplish? And until you get some clarity about that, it's hard to know how to break it down. And then the second reason why we don't accomplish our goals is broken focus. And that's daily. We get, it's so easy for distractions, interruptions, things to come into our day, and we don't actually get back to the most important things that matter to us. And so if there's anything that you can get out of today, and I'm going to give you a process, but I really want you to think about these two areas. Do you have a lack of clarity? And are you facing broken focus on a regular basis? That is a real challenge. But now, once you understand this 90-day goal setting process I'm going to share with you today, it's going to help with both. You're going to have crystal clear clarity because you know exactly what to do in the next 90 days. And you're also not going to fight against broken focus, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. So let's jump in. Let me talk about step one. This is really to establish your 90-day game plan. Now, I need to help you kind of understand the different kinds of goals we set. And there's 3 different kinds that are good for you to set with these 90-day goals. And by the way, I probably should mention, because some of you, maybe this concept's brand new to you, you might be wondering, okay, Jonathan, when do I do the 90-day goals? Well, first of all, you can do them whenever you want. You can decide today and set out 90 days from now. You do not have to have a structured approach. Okay, so it's more important that you get started more than anything. For me, the way that my year's broken up is January 1st, I start my first round of 90-day goals. And so it's January, February, and March, with the ultimate goal of accomplishing what I had set out by April the 1st. So April the 1st is a hard deadline. Then I start another round, and I go April, May, June with a July 1st hard deadline. And then I do July, August, and September with an October deadline, October 1st. And then, of course, the October, November, December with the January 1st deadline. That is what works for me. But I want you to not wait. I mean, if you really say, man, I want to get on that structured approach, pick whatever time you're watching or listening to this and set some goals to the next starting time to get yourself back into the rhythm. So regardless of where you're starting, get started now. Okay, so here's really step one. And this is where most of us, we understand this part of the process. But step one is for you to set less than 5 outcome goals. Less than 5. Now listen, when I first started setting 90-day goals, one of the mistakes I made is I think I set somewhere between 10 and 15 goals. Honestly, it was literally overwhelming because I thought, I want to be ambitious. I want to get a lot of stuff done. So I'm going to set all these goals. And you know what happened? Fractured interest, right? It was just like, it was all over the place. My time was divided against too many projects, and I had to narrow it down. And so I recommend that you set anywhere between 2 and 5 goals, major goals. These are what we call outcome goals. You know, an outcome goal would be something like, I want to earn $10,000 in revenue by such and such date for my business. Okay, so that's an outcome goal. But here's the thing about outcome goals. Outcome goals, you really don't have much control over because they're just a big goal. It's not broken down. It's like saying, I want to write a book by December 31st. Well, that's great, but if I don't break that down, I have no chance of actually accomplishing that. It's too big. It's too overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I don't know the different pieces there. So here's my advice. Establish 2 to 5 outcome goals. And then now we're going to go one level deeper. And these 2 levels that I'm getting ready to share with you, because we're going to go 3 levels. We have outcome goals, which give us the big picture of where we're going over 90 days. Then the next level, and I learned these next 2 from a guy named Todd Herman. Some of you may know him from 90 Day Year. And this helped me put all the missing pieces together because it really made the goals that I set realistic for me. It made me able to break them down and actually get them done. So what is that next level goal, that level 2 goal? Set performance goals. Now, a performance goal is much different than an outcome goal. A performance goal establishes your behavior, something you want to improve. So an example for those of you that are bloggers, it would be, if my ultimate goal here is to create $10,000 in income, but I know I need to create content and attract an audience, I got to do a couple different things, right? I got to create a course, whatever. But a performance goal would be, I want to publish a weekly blog post, or over the next 2 weeks, I want to publish 2 blog posts. Now I have something I can actually measure. It's something that's measurable. Okay, so that is kind of the next level down, is you take your outcome goal and say, what is a performance goal, a behavior goal, something that I can measure that can be improved upon, that I can establish in a 1 to 2 week time frame. Now, if you've seen the weekly blog planner that I use, this is what I write down in the weekly goals, is I look at my 90-day goals and say, okay, what is a good performance-based goal for the week that matches to my ultimate 90-day goal? All right. So that is kind of piece number 2 in this. Okay. So we broke it down into like within the next week or 2. Now, this is where the rubber meets the road, because level 3, the next level of goals, is process goals. A process goal. And you say, well, what's a process goal? A process goal answers when, where, and what, and maybe even who, if it's not us that needs to be doing it. Because if you don't get down to the when, where, and what, it's not going to get done. You can say, I want to write a book, but if you don't get down to, okay, when are you going to do that? Okay, where are you going to be when you do this? And what tool are you going to use? What subject, what topic, what chapter? You have to get down. And this is where the high performers, this is where they make strides, because they're not just operating off of an outcome goal. They actually put it on their calendar. See, and you've heard it before, and it's so true, that what gets scheduled gets done. What gets on your calendar gets done. Here's an example, okay, using our same goal. If my 90-day goal is to create $10,000 in revenue in my blogging business, my performance goal for the next week or 2 is, or at least one of them is, I want to publish a blog post or 2 blog posts over the next 2 weeks. Then here is the process goal. A process goal is saying, Tuesday morning at Starbucks between 7 and 8, I'm going to write this blog post, this, whatever that blog post is, that topical idea. And that, my friend, is exactly how I get things done. In fact, Tuesday mornings, I go to Starbucks and I write my weekly blog post. And you know why I do it? Because it pulls me away from the distractions that I could even get here in my home office. And it helps me to set the intention for why I'm going to Starbucks in the first place, because I don't want to leave Starbucks or Panera Bread or wherever I'm going. I don't want to leave there without accomplishing what it is I went there to accomplish, which for me is writing my latest blog post. And so you see how I've taken an outcome goal and I've broken it down to the when, where, and what. That is where the magic happens. Okay? So now, let me give you one more tip, and we'll kind of wrap this up. Once you've established your goals, so again, you want to create those outcome goals, 2 to 5 outcome goals for your 90 days. And then when you sit down on Monday morning, or maybe you like to set your goals, your weekly goals, Friday before the work week, that's where you come up with your performance goal. What is it that I need to do to help move things forward? And then you tell yourself, because you're a high performer, that I'm not just going to leave it there, but when am I going to do that? Where am I going to do that? And what tool or what do I need to accomplish that? And that right there is what I like to call focus sessions. So the hidden secret amongst all this is the ability to create a focus session early in the morning where you get your most important stuff done. Because we all know that distractions, interruptions, email, social media, demands from other people, phone calls, all that's going to come into play. And the way that we conquer that is to do creative work first. That is to do your most important priorities first in the day. Now, when I worked a full-time job, I called this work for yourself focus sessions. Work for yourself first is what I would call it. And this was usually between the hours of 5 to 7 a.m. And in the next episode of this show, I'm actually going to talk about that whole concept of how do you work for yourself first? How do you, if you're doing this on the side, if you're doing a side hustle, how do you develop the habit of working for yourself first? Well, regardless if you have the ability to work all day long on your passion, your business, or it's a side hustle, I recommend that you have an early morning focus session, at least 6 minutes, where you can focus on the things that are going to drive your business forward. And that's really where the secret is. And so that whole process I just explained is in this 3-page worksheet that you can grab right now by texting the 2 words into one word, Goal Worksheet. So make sure it's one word, Goal Worksheet, and then text that to the number 44222. And when you do that, I'll send you this 3-page worksheet along with some areas where you can actually begin working and putting in your goals. And it helps to further explain the difference between an outcome goal, a performance goal, and a process goal. Listen, this stuff is like magic. This stuff works if you work it. In fact, a lot of strategies work, but only if you work it. But I really want you, if you have been struggling with goals, I want you to do this. I want you to take the opportunity to take this goal setting process and work it into your life. And you'll be able to look back 6 months, 9 months, 12 months from now and be like, wow, look at the progress I made. Wow, I can't believe I was able to get that much done. And it's because you had an outcome which gave you the clarity, but you also had the process goals, which helped you to overcome the number one enemy, which is broken focus. All right. Thank you again for being here on this show. For those on live on Blab, I'm going to hang out for a little while and, of course, answer some questions. If you're watching this over on YouTube or you're listening to this on the podcast, join us on Blab on Wednesdays. Go to blab.im/John, Jon, Milligan, Milligan, and you can find the next live broadcast and come join us. Join this community, join the people who are here, and we'll have a good time. Thanks again for being here again today.